Phil Kingston, your concern is really with how the future is going to unfold and the type of society, the type of legacy that we are going to leave to people. And your concerns really are that the way that we treat the world now creates a massive injustice, not just for the poor in Bangladesh, but in fact for future generations. What do you think those generations would say if they had a voice, if we could teleport them here and ask them, what they want in the future? What would they say?
Thank you. First of all, I'm honoured to be asked to offer my voice to people from future generations to speak their minds. I invite you to listen to them. To ask us what we think surprises us because we imagine that you know us as well as you know yourselves. When you were waiting your turn in the stream of life, were not your longings the same as ours? To be born into an earth which would nourish and sustain you. To know that its basic climate would be much more beneficial than harmful. To expect that the abundant life forms which God created would bring you the same joy which they brought to your forebears. And to trust that you have the necessary resources inside you, ready to be released by the spark of God. We are relieved and encouraged that you here today are recognizing the damage which you are doing to the earth, and we are moved by your concern for us. And yet, although you are waking up, it is only a partial awakening. It's 40 years since the World Wildlife Fund showed that the human population was taking more from the earth than the earth can provide. You now use the earth as though you have 1.5 planets. You've forgotten what the Cree Indians said when they saw how the Europeans treated nature. When the last fish is caught, you will know that you cannot eat money. When we see your forgetting, we are afraid. The bond of love between us is broken, and our need for safety isn't met. Your focus upon climate change raises our hopes, but we won't be speaking our truth if we don't remind you that climate change is just one of 4 planetary boundaries which have been broken. And there is a great unmentionable, an elephant in the room, especially in the rooms of the materially rich countries, including the room you're in now. It is the relationship between the neoliberal economy and the destruction of the earth. How did you ever conceive of an economy of never-ending growth upon a finite planet? Growth at such a cost. Please explain to us how this economy appreciates the wonder and beauty of all forms of life and cares for them. Tell us how it recognizes the limits of the earth and how it demonstrates its humility to live within them. Explain to us how it embraces God's special love of the poor. Explain, too, how it shares the goods of the earth between everyone, and how that sharing includes us. If it doesn't give primacy to these values, you know that it excludes the God of love and justice. Now, when evidence of the damage to the earth by this economy is all around us, why aren't you initiating a worldwide debate about the necessity for a different economy? One which puts the integrity and sustainability of the earth and the common good of its peoples first. One model which expresses these criteria is a steady state economy, one which lives within the wisdom of enough. Until you develop an economy of enough, we will not be safe, nor will you. If you are to help us, you will name the powers of your time when they misuse their power or exclude you from dialogue. The corporations, the banks which have become gamblers, the international trade and financial institutions, the media which support them, the politicians and governments when they bow before them and look away from their citizens. And when your religious institutions don't speak and act for justice, respond to them as Jesus responded to the ones of his day. And do all of this without violence. If some of what we say disturbs you, remember that you are a child of God and that facing reality with truth and love and singing and dancing will bring you through. Everyone who relates to you with domination instead of loving service can no longer hold sway over you. You will be sisters and brothers working for God's earth, for life, for the poorest peoples, and for us. Lastly, and most importantly, dear companions, be gentle with yourselves. If you are sad about your part in the destruction of the earth, acknowledge that. Voice your regrets, make your resolutions, and get going quickly. Time is indeed very short. From deep in our hearts, we wish you every blessing.
Thank you very much, Phil, for an absolutely very eloquent and also incredibly poignant letter from the future.